It's really having you do a deep dive on who would you be being without your worldview, right? It really has you go within. So the first thing you want to do is become aware on who would you be being without your worldview that you were born into. Kind of feel that, right? Like if a fish doesn't know that he's in water until he's pulled out. And then the contrast of being pulled out of water is what lets him know that he was in something different. I want you to consider it's the same way with your worldview that you were born into. So, one of the biggest obstacles that stand in the way of most people is that they've never actually challenged their worldview. They've never actually been pulled out of it to go, wait a minute, do I really believe that mom or dad said? Is that really true? Or have I just been repeating this over and over again because isn't that what we do? We want to not do that. Really quick story on that is I remember I had a driver's ed teacher. One time in my whole life, I got a ticket and I went to driver's ed. I think that's driver's ed. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, ticket school. One time I got one and I went to, and it's the funniest thing. The gentleman who taught it was teaching us a story about how at Thanksgiving time, he had, his whole life he had, gone and had Thanksgiving at his own house. And then he was a teenager and he went over somebody else's house and he's like, why do you guys do that? And the guy's like, what do you mean? And he says, we don't eat that part of the turkey. What they had always done is they had always cut off a big, huge portion of the turkey. They didn't eat it. And he said, well, why would you cut that off? That's like really good meat. And he's like, he had never seen it done the way they had done it. So anyway, he goes back to his family and he says, why do we cut off this portion of the turkey? And his mother said, I don't know. We've always done it that way. So he goes and, she says, you need to go ask grandma. And so he goes and asks grandma. He says, Grandma, why do we cut off the portion of the turkey? And she says, well, we never had a pan big enough. I love that. That's a true story of what he told us, but it fits so perfectly here because this is how we're going to interrupt the way you've been doing things because you've never ever questioned them or seen it from a different point of view. Like, who would you be without that worldview? So here's what you want to do. You want to go through, you want to actually find your limiting beliefs by taking a piece of paper, drawing a line down the middle, and then labeling one side mother and labeling the other one father, and then ask yourself questions. Write down all the things that you remember hearing your mother say growing up that you just always heard her saying. Now write down everything you heard your father saying always growing up. These are things that were on repeat. You have it automatically in your programming. And then you want to circle the thoughts you currently think, right? Circle any of them that you've heard them say, and now you say them, okay? Now, without any judgment, you want to really take a closer look at this. Does that thought lead me closer in the direction of my desired results, or does it take me away from what I'm really wanting, right? Anything that is not closing the gap from what it is that where you want to where do you want to be, you want to consciously choose from this day forward. You want to sort it through AIM and then create the new belief that you do want, right? So process it through AIM, see the truth, and then create a new belief. And how you want to do that is the way you create a new belief is you create a belief by a habit of thought that you keep thinking. So you want to create that as a habit. So what you would do is for an extra 5 minutes a day into your 3 times a day on alignment, you just want to add another point that you want to just focus on the feeling place of creating that habit of feeling the new belief. Keep feeling it, saying it out loud, saying it in, out loud, and then feeling it and what it would feel like to have that new belief as a reality. Okay. That is what you're going to add to this week's bonus on who would you be being without that worldview. I cannot wait to hear what opens up for you. Okay. Bye for now.